Hi guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I wanted to tell you about SMSL DO200 Pro digital to analog converter that I got a few months ago already. I think I actually had it before first Mouse review, but I've let it stall in my line of amplifiers and preamplifiers. So finally I'm catching up with the things that were standing in that line for far too long. Well, I got this one because I was very curious about new contender to Sabre and Asahi Kasei dominated market, as it has Cirrus Logic chips inside. Also, it was quite affordable because I was able to get that on a sale, and also I was able to use $150 AliExpress coupon. So in total I've paid for that $350 shipping included. The regular price is something like $450 US. So it was quite cheap, and that was one of the tipping points for my decision. The other reasons that I got it for is that it actually uses 12 digital to analog converters inside. It's using 12 CS43131 Cirrus Logic digital to analog converters inside. These are quite popular in smaller devices like headphone amplifiers, like USB dongles, because they are quite power efficient and they measure very well and they sound great too. So that was the second reason. And the third reason that you'll see in a minute is that that's one of the first serious digital to analog converters, if not the first one, that has the actual HDMI audio return channel input. Yeah, that's actually very, very important because it's geared towards gaming community and folks who have a TV as a center of their home cinema systems. Okay, it also has some state-of-the-art specification numbers, which is always great. I'll give you the shop links in the description of the video, so if you want to buy one, check the link underneath the video. And with this introduction out of the way, let's move to the specifications. The full audio chain that I've used for testing this amplifier, so digital to analog converter, all of the devices, cables and speakers are described under the video. As I said, it has a very unique selling point. It's allowing you to connect your source via HDMI audio return channel. And I'm telling this once again because it's important, and why it's important. Please stay with me and wait for the summary. Okay, so HDMI. It doesn't do any fancy DTS or Dolby decoding. It just does pure PCM, so pulse code modulation. So you have to remember to set your TV correctly. It does MQA if it matters to you. It has Bluetooth in version 0.51, and it's able to do LDAC and aptX HD over the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth is actually realized by Qualcomm QCC5125 chipset, so at the moment, state-of-the-art chipset from Qualcomm. It can double as a preamplifier. As you can see, I'm able to set the volume on the device. Internally, for the USB, it's using Exmos XU316 chipset, which is also state-of-the-art chipset. Basically, all of the parts inside are very, very high quality. And what's interesting, you can choose the USB working mode between 1.1 and 2.0, and that's important because the older mode 1.1 allows you to connect without any kind of drivers this digital to analog converter to gaming consoles. So it can be used with your TV or it can be used with your gaming console. Okay, now some numbers, some very impressive numbers. Total harmonic distortion plus noise, it's, bear with me, 0.00006%, which translates in something like minus 123 decibels. It's totally clean. Dynamic range is 134 decibels, and signal to noise ratio is also 154 decibels for XLR outputs, which is excellent. It does the coding for everything that you forward it in PCM up to 768 kHz, and it does DSD up to 11 MHz. So it does everything that's currently recognized as a standard on the market. Now, let's do the tour of the outsides. Or maybe not. Let's do the mini tour. Okay, so we have a volume pot, rotational selector that doubles as a power switch. Let's power this off. Yeah, we have a status LED here. As you can see, it comes with the screen protector. I haven't removed that yet. Let's power that on. Okay, it comes with a remote. Remote is cheap, as you can see and hear. It's made of plastic, but it works. It works, so it's fine. Okay, now the menu. What can we do here? We can select the input. As you can see, a full range of inputs is here. I'll talk about that more when we'll be discussing the build externally. You can choose outputs, what's important, and sometimes you ask me about that. It is able to use both output types at the same time. You can use both balanced and unbalanced output at the same time, or you can choose to use just one of them. Okay, you can choose one of 5, if I remember correctly, filters for PCM decoding. My preference was fast with phase compensation. Okay, you can choose USB mode, you can choose if it's acting as a preamplifier too, or you can set the volume at fixed level. That's actually an interesting thing. This is the first digital to analog converter that has this warning here. If you set the volume to fixed level, it will output the audio signal at the maximum level. So if you have a power amplifier connected, be sure to lower the volume. Yeah, that was actually nice. And what do we have here? We can choose what the function key on remote will be used for. I've left it at output selection, but you can also use it for switching directly to Bluetooth. Dimmer will be for you to set the time after the display will go off. Brightness, you can set the brightness level for the display, and you can reset the device to defaults. Okay, so let's get out of this menu, let's power this off, and let's take a look at the outsides of the device. Let's disconnect that. Okay, so LCD display, status diode, rotary selector that doubles as a power switch. Nothing here, nothing on the top, except for this small sticker for Japan Audio Society. And the back of the device, balanced outputs, XLR connectors for balanced outputs, single-ended RCA connectors for single-ended connectors, outputs, and the inputs, coaxial input, optical input, Bluetooth input. It comes with an antenna in the box. And now two interesting things. USB input is realized via USB-C connector, which means that you won't be able to use any USB-C fancy cable. Sorry, I actually meant that you won't be able to use any USB A to B fancy cable that you may own. You'll have to use some kind of A to C cable like that one. It's Chinese ATA audio. I'll link to this cable in the description. It's a good quality USB cable. and it works perfectly fine and way better than cables that are usually in the boxes with phones. Okay, so USB-C. And another important thing, the star of the show, it's not I2S input, it's HDMI audio return channel input. That's the most important part of this device. And power socket with power switch rocker here. One more thing. What's on the bottom? Serial numbers, etc. This one. This is something important. The professional audio equipment allows you to use 5 volts output signal levels. The regular home devices are using 4 volts. So using this switch, you're able to use to switch between 5 and 4 volts. If you'd be using this digital to analog converter in with some professional equipment, 5 volts will be better. But you can also check if it works with your home devices when set to output maximum level of 5 volts. Why? Because the higher the range of the voltage on the output, the higher the resolution and the bigger distance between noise level and signal level. So if your amplifier will accept 5 volts, and you need to check that, usually power amplifiers will do that, then you'll be better off switching this to 5 volts. Okay, so now let's pause for the second, because I need to unscrew the last screw that's keeping the device together, because as you can see, I've already removed other screws. So just a second. Okay, so we're back. Let's open this up. The chassis quality. It's fine. I'm spoiled by my amplifier clone reviews, so they have usually something like 3 or 4 millimeters thick aluminium plates. It's not aluminium, it's steel, and it's definitely not 3 or 5 millimeters, but it's good enough for the job. Now, what do we have inside here? We can see Bluetooth Qualcomm chipset here. We can see power supply here with fuse here integrated. I can actually remove that cable. I've left it like that after the preview video, so the ones of you that have seen that video and read the comments will know what was in the comments. Okay, so now the beauty part. We have a set of 12 CS43123 digital to analog converters, 6 of them for one channel, 6 of them for the other channel. As you can see, it has a very symmetrical build, because that's fully balanced construction. It actually is also mentioned in the specification that this digital to analog converter has fully balanced build inside, meaning that left and right channels are completely separate. Okay, these small guys here are OPA 1612 operational amplifiers, so high quality op-amps here. What else here? Yeah, the capacitors and at the power section. These are Nichicons, and each one of them is rated for 1000 microfarads. Let's try to get the focus right. Yeah, and these are rated for 50 volts. So 4000 microfarads in total, which is quite a lot for a digital to analog converter, because it doesn't draw that much current. Yeah, that's it. If you want to take another look at the insides, maybe with some longer comment, take a look at my first look video for this digital to analog converter. Now let's close this up and move towards the most interesting parts, which is sound qualities. Give me a second. Okay, so we're back. I've reconnected the power because it just looks good and I'll have something to play with my hands while I'll be describing the sound qualities for you guys. Okay, so the first thing, bass. Bass is deep and precise with just the right amount of mid-bass. The mid-bass doesn't bleed into the mid-range, although this digital to analog converter has more mid-bass that I'm used to. But it's fine, it's perfectly fine. It doesn't cover anything that's happening in the mid-range. However, it does like some speed and slam. For example, one of the tracks that I'm using to test this area is Fallout 3 main theme by London Philharmonic Orchestra. Yes, I know it's a game music, but it's absolutely beautiful music and it's played with one of the most recognized orchestras in the world. So anyway, the track starts with some sudden bass slams, and the dynamic of that should make your hair on your neck raise. It's not as fast here with this particular digital to analog converter. However, the bass has good extension. Moving on to the mid-range. If you know a track by Jennifer Warnes called And So It Goes, you'll probably remember that there are some very vibrating words inside. She changes the pitch of her voice in a very delicate way, so the sound of particular words vibrates. And if the mid-range has not enough resolution, it doesn't sound like it's vibrating, it sounds flat. If the device has enough resolution in the mid-range, you'll clearly hear that her voice changes. And every and all vibrating words in the song are right there, so it's perfectly fine. I think that the mid-range in this device is a little bit on the warm range, but not too much. Let's say that it's just like spicing things a little up. But I think that's a treat of Qobuz Logic chip, because the smaller headphone amplifiers that I've had and tested also had this little warmness in them. Okay, moving to treble. Good extension, no sibilance, no fatiguing sounds whatsoever. Could be air, but it's fine for the price. It doesn't have the transparency of other digital to analog converters that I've tested, and it actually shows with my electrostats. When I was doing my listening tests with my Martin Logan Ascent 1 speakers, you could actually hear that the other digital to analog converters that I've tested recently were a little bit airier in the treble. Now, moving on to the detail. It's okay for the price range. String and brass instruments are lacking some of the vibrating qualities, some of the harmonic sounds that you can hear with, especially with the strings. You can hear some stuff happening in the background, on the backplanes, some details of the sounds that sometimes can happen if something is recorded in studio. So the background detail is here. But it's nothing that would surprise you. I've actually had a few occasions with other digital to analog converters when the detail level on the unit was so high that I was able to find and hear some things that I haven't heard earlier, which is always a very nice surprise. If you know your songs by heart, if you know them, and suddenly you can hear something that's there, that's been hidden there, and you were not aware of that earlier. That's always a nice thing. It's not like that here. It has the background detail, but it did not surprise me with anything that I wouldn't have heard earlier. Okay, now, scene and imaging. It has good center image. Left and right positioning is also good. It has some depth and height information, but the overall presentation is rather flat. But it has good separation though. So the instruments are separated well. You can clearly hear the positions, but it's better in left and right directions than in depth or height. So that's it. Now, that's all about technical qualities. Now, moving on to the loose thoughts and summary, which is quite long in this case. I was actually surprised because when I was taking notes, the loose thoughts and summary section took 2 pages. Okay, so it's musical, although it lacks some refinement and excitement. Excitement meaning this hair-raising factor. It measures very well according to the manufacturer data. It has some really good specs. I was based on these specs, I was expecting a little more from this new contender in the realm of Sabre and Asahi Kasei dominated market. It's okay, but it never excels, and I think honestly I'd rather prefer recently reviewed SU9 Ultra, even if it's SU9, even if it's lacking some air and detail. But the SU9 Ultra had very good vocals and was more engaging overall. However, and that's the important thing that I've asked you to wait for at the beginning of the video. However, the unique selling point of this particular digital to analog converter is HDMI audio return ARC channel input. I haven't seen this in any other serious digital to analog converter so far, so it doesn't have any real competition in this area. Well, there are some small devices, some cheap devices you can buy for like $10 or $20, but honestly, they sound like shit. So why it doesn't have any kind of real kind of competition? Because there is no other large-scale, full blown digital to analog converter that would do the same thing. All of these small devices sound terrible, so this one basically mops the floor with every kind of competition that I can think of. So as long as it has some areas where it could be better to be on par with Sabre or Asahi Kasei, the digital to analog converters, it's still the best choice for folks wanting to have the best sound possible from their TV centered setups. So that's perfect choice for all smart TVs or consoles that are used for being a base of a streaming platform. If you're using your TV or your console to listen to Spotify, to listen to Tidal, to watch movies, to play games, and you'd like to have the best possible sound, this will be at that particular moment the best choice for you, because it'll allow you to get your equipment connected using audio return channel, standard HDMI connector, and it's something that no other digital to analog converter I've seen does at the moment. So again, in this particular area, which is working with TV being center of your entertainment setup with smart TV, especially smart TVs, because then you can use all of the streaming application, especially music streaming application, and use your TV or your gaming console as a center of your entertainment in your house. It mops the floor with competition. So if you'd be buying this one, look for coupons, hunt for sales, because you can significantly lower the price. And for the money, if you'd be using this with your TV or with your gaming console, it will be better, way better than any soundbar you can get. So all in all, it's recommended. It has the SMSL with this unit has found a niche on the market, and that niche is TV. So again, all in all, recommended. It's not competition for other serious digital to analog converters in audiophile setups, but as a center of your home entertainment, home fun with TV it excels. So if you like that review, if it helped you in any way to decide whether to buy or not this device, you're more than welcome to buy me a beer. Yeah, super thanks. If I forgot to mention anything, if you have any further questions, just ask them in the comments. I always try to answer these twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening when I have some few minutes to spare. Yes, and that's it. Purchase link in the description, cable link in the description, and also semi wherever DA50 DAC link will also be in the description, because if you're gunning for a cheap value digital to analog converter for your audiophile setup, then semi wherever is still the best one I've tested so far. But if you'd be going with a TV-centered setup, that's the one for you, because that's the best and only option right now. Not counting these small, and these are really bad. Yes, believe me, I've tried. I've got one a couple of months ago because I wanted to connect a TV in my younger brother's house, and I've paid like $15, and I haven't really used that. When I've heard how it does sound, I've decided to go completely the other way with his setup. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. I hope you have a great day. It's a rainy day here, but it's still Sunday, so I have to enjoy the Sunday because it's not Monday. Okay, best regards. Bye guys.